So, ladies and gentlemen, it's with a heavy heart that I have to pass on a bit of bad news on this beautiful summer evening in New Brunswick. Hockey Hall of Famer Tony Esposito has passed away of pancreatic cancer. Now, the news broke very late this evening. Basically, came as a shock to many because a lot of us didn't really know he had advanced pancreatic cancer. We know he was diagnosed. Now, 78 years old, originally from the Sioux, the sensation from the Sioux, Sault Marie, Ontario. First came to major prominence in the NHL after being claimed off waivers from the Montreal Canadiens. Now, he won a cup with Montreal as part of that triumphant that year with Vachon and Worsley, and eventually became a sensation in 1970 with a 38-17-9 record, winning his first of three Vezinas. So today we're going to be going over aspects of his career, talking about his dedication and also his induction to Hall of Fame, Team Canada 72, the fact he played also for Team USA at the Canada Cup in a very interesting decision by him, and overall, like I said, a top 100 NHL player of all time. Some people call him the top 10 goalie. I give him what's worth. If you saw him play, his butterfly style was all originated with him, and he was one of the pioneers. Now, born April 23rd, 1943 in the Sioux, he was one of the pioneers of now popular butterfly style. Now, in 2017, Esposito was named number 79 on the 100 greatest NHL players of all time. I think he should have been a little bit higher, at least top 50. Now, he grew up again in the Sioux with his brother, fellow future NHL star Phil Esposito, and he played college hockey for, of all teams, Michigan Tech. Now, a 3-year hockey letter winner, he was a 3-time first-team All-American selection. He was a driving force in helping the Michigan Tech squad to the 1965 NCAA title and was named a first-team NCAA All-Tournament team choice in '65. He is still the MTU leader in goals against average with 2.55 and second in career save percentage at .912. Esposito was also a 3-time All-WCHA first-team selection. Now, he was not drafted, ladies and gentlemen, but ended up in the Montreal system. He turned pro with the Vancouver Canucks, the original squad, in the WHL in '68, and also played with Houston Apollos, which was Montreal's affiliate, in the CHL in '69. He first played for the Habs during that campaign. He was only the third American college player selected by an NHL team to play with a side. Esposito made his NHL debut against the Seals, playing 26 minutes in relief of Rogie Vachon. His first NHL start was against the Boston Bruins, then led by his brother Phil. The game ended in a 2-2 tie, with Phil scoring both goals for Boston and Tony making 33 saves. He played 13 regular season games that year due to both the Gumper and Vachon being injured. However, Esposito returned to the minors when they both returned from their injuries. When Worsley was again injured during the playoffs, Esposito was called up again. He served as a backup to Vachon, dressing for all 4 games in the finals when he swept St. Louis. As the Canadiens were deep in goalies at the time, including Philip Muir and Ken Dryden later on, Esposito was left unprotected by the Habs in 1969. Now, when Chicago claimed him from Montreal on waivers, known at the time as intra-league draft, he had a spectacular season with Chicago, posting a 2.77 goals against average and setting a modern-day NHL record with 15 shutouts, for which he won the Calder as the league's best rookie. He also won the Vezina and was named to the first All-Star team at year's end. He was also runner-up for the league MVP, the Hart Memorial. It was during this record-setting season that he earned the nickname Tony O for his shutout abilities. In '71, he again proved to be one of the league's top goalies and helped Chicago finish first in the NHL's West Division. Now, the BlackHawks made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, but lost in 7 games to Montreal. Just as a reminder, in Game 7, 2-0 for Chicago, Jacques Lemaire scored on a shot from half rink above his shoulder, where Esposito again was weak, and the goal turned the series. And also Jim Pappen almost scored the tying goal for Chicago late in the third, so it was a battle of goalies in Game 7, and unfortunately his future Team Canada teammate Ken Dryden won. Now, the following season, He posted the lowest GAA of his career at 1.77 and shared the Vezina with backup Gary Smith. Now, he was also selected to the NHL's first All-Star team. When they were putting together Team Canada 72 for the Summit Series against the Russians in September of 72, he was one of the consensus choice to be either number 1 or number 2. He was the first goalie to earn a win against the Soviets, splitting Canada's goaltending duties with Montreal's Ken Dryden. And he helped come back in a series, helping them win 4-1 in Toronto in Game 2. Now, Esposito posted the lowest GAA and the highest save percentage of the 3 goalies, himself, Dryden, and Vladislav Tretiak, who appeared in the series. Tony's brother Phil had an exceptional 8 games, as Weller was the inspirational leader of the squad. Of course, his infamous third period against the Russians, where we came back from 5-3 to win 6-5. Now, despite the loss of Bobby Hull, Esposito and the Hawks led their division 73, but lost the Stanley Cup again to Montreal, this time in 6 games. In 74, it was another brilliant season with a sparkling 2.04 GAA and 10 shutouts. He won his third Vezina, sharing with Philly's Bernie Parent. Now, the BlackHawks declined over the next few seasons, although Espo remained among the top netminders in the NHL. In 1980, for example, he enjoyed a fine season with 6 shutouts and made first All-Star team for the 3rd time. In 81, he decided to become a naturalized American citizen and played for Team USA in the Canada Cup, as he had previously represented Canada also at the 77 Ice Hockey World Championship Tournament. And Brian Trottier, as a dual Aboriginal citizen, did the same thing for Canada and the States. Now, he played a few more seasons in Chicago, retiring after the 84 season with Murray Bannerman as his pure number 2. Now, Esposito was one of just 8 goalies to win the Vezina, catching the puck right-handed. The other 7 are fellow Blackhawks legend Charlie Gardner in 32 and 34, New York Rangers Davy Kerr in 1940, the Stanley Cup year, ambidextrous Montreal goalie Bill Durnan, 44 to 47, 49 and 50, New York Rangers Jules Demure in 71, Tom Barrasso of the Sabres in 84, Grand Few in 88, and Jose Theodore of the Habs in 2002. Now, Espo was also the second NHL player to officially wear the number 35, after goalie Fern Rivard wore 35 for the Stars in 1969. Now, it is a common number now in tribute to Esposito, which is worn by many goalies. It was assigned to him during training camp prior to the 1970 season for Chicago because the standard goalie numbers 1 and 30 were already assigned. After posting a shutout, his first exhibition game for the team, he chose to keep wearing the number, and the number was eventually retired by the Blackhawks on November 20th, 1988. Now, Esposito, like his brother, was noted as being heavily superstitious. He often became upset by cross hockey sticks and regularly lined up his hockey sticks in a particular way. Now, when he eventually retired from professional play in 84, 4 years later, the Hall of Fame came calling, and of course 35 was retired by the Hawks. Now, Esposito later became GM of the Pittsburgh Penguins briefly when he hired former Blackhawks teammate Gene Obriaco as head coach. In his first year, the Penguins finished 40-33-7 and ended a lengthy playoff drought. After starting the 1990 season 10-14-2, despite Mary Lemieux in the lineup, both Esposito and Obriaco were terminated. During his tenure, Esposito was best known for drafting the great Mark Recchi and pulling off a trade that landed the Penguins goalie Tom Barrasso and eventually led to 2 cups later on in the decade. And now in 91, when his brother helped found the Tampa Bay Lightning, Phil hired Tony as chief scout. Legend has it they came up with the team name during a thunderstorm, and both Espositos, unfortunately, were fired in 1998. Now in 98, when the rankings of Hockey News 100 Great Hockey Players came out, Phil was number 18 and Tony was 79. I think he should be higher, but that's for people to much more into it to talk about. Now in 2007, he was inducted alongside brother Phil into the Sault Ste. Marie Walk of Fame. Now, on March 19, 2008, the Blackhawks honored Esposito with Tony Esposito Night, where he was formally introduced as an ambassador to the Blackhawks organization. Then Blackhawk goalies Patrick Lalime and Nikolai Habibulin both wore Esposito's number 35 jerseys in the pregame warm-ups, and Habibulin recorded a shutout in the Hawks' 5-0 win over Washington. Now, he leaves to mourn his beautiful wife Marilyn and 2 sons, and again he passed away on August 10th, 2021 at the age of 78. Now, he's also been featured in various entertainment. Gard Elgar, played by the great Dana Carvey, wears Espo's jerseys and mask while playing road hockey in Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2. He also made an appearance in the second season of Rent-A-Goalie, playing poker alongside his brother Phil. Now, awards and honors. All WCHA first team, 65, 66, 67. All AHA West All-American, 65 and 65. He was an all NCAA all-tournament first team. 66, AHCA West All-American, and 67, All-American again for the AHCA, and all WCHA first team like it was in 66. Stanley Cup champion in 69, Calder in 70, All-Star team goalie first team, 70, 72, and 80. Second All-Star team, 73, 74. Vezina, 70, 72, and 74. All-Star appearances, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 80. Summit Series, 72, Team Canada, and 77, Ice Hockey Worlds, where he finished fourth. U.S. National Men's Hockey Team, 81, Canada Cup. Retirement of his number 35 in 1988. Hockey Hall of Fame that same year. And again, number 79 on the Hockey News list, ever. So, he did play with the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds of the NOJHA before going on to Michigan Tech. Now in Vancouver in 68, 25, 33, and 4 with a 3.20 average. First games in the NHL for Montreal, 5, 4, and 4 with 2 shutouts and a 2.73 average. Now, over the years, extremely consistent from 1970 to 1983. 38, 35, 31, 32, 34, 34, 30, 25, 28, 34, 24, 31, 29, 19, and 23 wins. Final NHL totals, 423 wins in 886 games, 306 losses, and of course 151 ties. 2.92 average, 76 goals against. In the playoffs, 45 and 53, again the 69 Cup, and the 2 final appearances in 71-73, 3.07 average, 6 shutouts. Team Canada 72, 2-1-1, losing of course Game 5 in a tough comeback loss against the Soviets. World Championships 77, 6-2-1 with a 3.17 average, and for the States in 81, one of the better Canada Cup squads, 2-3 in 5 games with a 4.0 average. So my thoughts of Tony Esposito, again, not the biggest drink of water, 5'11", 180, 5, sometimes 190. I didn't see any faults in his game, even though the Chicago media and sometimes the Quebec media was on his back. But a butterfly style, not everybody can play that. But I liked about Tony, though, is the connection between, again, the 1960s NHL well into the 1980s. And he was reliable, like I said, like the Necro brothers or Nolan Ryan, Steve Carlton. You know how he stayed on a little bit too long. Now, Espo stayed on a little bit too long, but you can't criticize Chicago for wanting to use their best assets to try to win games. Now, you look at that 1980 season, where the WHA came in. This is the Gretzky era, ladies and gentlemen, here. And the only really bad season he had, in my opinion, was 1982 when he had that 4.52 average. But he cut a full goal off the average the next year. But like I said, the Western Conference was starting to open out, literally and figuratively. But 52,583 minutes played, ladies and gentlemen, in a regular season and 6,000 in the playoffs. So 61,000 minutes. You do the math. So my condolences to his friends, family, his followers. My God, when Summit 72, when Dryden really didn't have a good game in Game 1, I think it was Jacques Plante said on the French feed, well, we lost the first game, but I predict we're going to do better because Esposito is a strong goalie. Jacques Plante had faith in Esposito in Game 2. Whether the fans had faith in Canada coming back from that clobbering in Game 1 where the Stanley Cup champion goalie and Ken Dryden had that bad game. But Espo, the NHL players that were on Team Canada could do what they wanted because they had Staple in the white and Esposito on the back end, and that allowed him to come back in the series. I don't think we would have won 772 without Esposito, and for that he has a place in heaven. When you beat the Russians It's a good feeling. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's our podcast on the late, great Tony Esposito. If you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, there's a lot of YouTube online. The mass will live on. The style will live on. And every player, male, female, worldwide, owes everything to Tony Esposito if they played a butterfly. He didn't create it, but he perfected it. Have a good day. Bye.